The Toronto Maple Leafs have faced some pretty tough games recently. After an incredible run that placed them as the second-best team in hockey, only a couple of losses to Carolina kept them from being the best team over the last 30 games. The Toronto Maple Leafs have had a tough time and have a 2-2 record -1 in their last 5 games. Those 5 games include a loss against a weak Flyers team, a coin toss loss against Carolina, and 2 very concerning games against the Edmonton Oilers and New Jersey Devils. Both games against the Devils and Oilers basically sum up this team exactly. First, the Leafs build a 5-goal lead, but almost blow it. Then against the Devils, they have one of the best periods possible, and then play 2 completely bad periods. And worst of all, the common denominator of all these games is that the goaltending was terrible, except for one game where Joseph Woll reminded us of their potential. The Toronto Maple Leafs GM's worst move is one he didn't make. As we've seen over the past few months, where the Leafs have come very close to being the best team in the NHL, this is a team that can overcome its problems by scoring goals and really nothing else. The Leafs are not a solid defensive team and have a below-average blue line and some of the worst goaltending in the NHL, at least among playoff teams. And yet, the Leafs have led the NHL in 5v5 and total goals since January 18th, which is a span of nearly 30 games and more than a third of the NHL season. During this time, they're getting more than 70% of the points available to them. Stats from naturalstattrick.com. But they're doing it by allowing a lot of goals. Their expected goals percentage doesn't suggest they should be a top team, and during that time they have had the 13th best X-goals rating and the 15th best goalkeeper. There's no way a team with those numbers could be ranked first among the best teams in the league, but the Leafs are outperforming everyone in their path. But if they can do that with the 15th best goalie asterisk, he's 22nd in the full season so far, why didn't they recognize that and go get a better goalie? It makes no sense. This is a team that can be the best in the NHL when they get league average goaltending. Having a better goalkeeper would mean they could win games when the scoring dries up. The Toronto Maple Leafs have won 40 games this year, and only 8 of those wins have been when they have scored 3 goals or less. It's absolutely insane that they didn't try harder to get a goalie. Goalies returning from high ankle sprains typically do not regain their former status immediately. This has been well documented since Woll was injured. Goalies who are waived should not be the starting goalies on teams that are in the middle of one of the few prime seasons for a generation player.